gigantic creatures in the 5-0 bracket. It's Morawski versus Reilly. And over in left, Jono, he was competitor in the 2015 Players' Championship. Made it to the round of 8. And he's on the draw this game. Aiden Reilly starts out on basic Forest Expedition map.
Is this a modern deck?
Yeah. Well, it's a bad draw for the modern deck. He's not going to have turn 3 Tron with that Forest.
Right.
I would think game 1, this matchup is miserable for the 12-post deck.
Does not look great on paper.
He has no interactive cards outside of 3 Pithing Needle, and those don't do anything against Reanimator. I mean, I guess you can Needle a Grizzlebrand.
His deck does feature Crop Rotation Bajuka Bog. He also has a Maze of Ith as well. These are things that can come into play.
John's to start off on fetching for Underground Sea. You are right. There's some play there.
There's a Glacial Chasm as well that can stop him from losing life for an amount of time.
Now, unlike Lanzak, he can't actually just Glacial Chasm forever, I don't think. You know, we see careful study here for John. Draws 2, discards Entomb and Grizzlebrand.
This would be a good window for a Bajuka Bog unless Jonathan's able to get something on the battlefield right now.
Reanimator is one of the faster combo decks by a lot. You see Lotus Petal here from John. Passes.
Recently, a lot of players have picked up a black-red version of Reanimator because it's a little bit faster. It's trying to more consistently turn 1 or turn 2 something. Though the blue deck, it does have the ability to interact with your opponents a little bit more.
In right, second basic Forest go.
Not to mention that he can filter his draws.
This is not what you expect to see against in the 5-0 bracket.
Jonathan thinking, is he going to crack this map to find a third Forest? What's going on over
Forest,
there?
Then cast Dungrove Elder. Like, haha, this is my green deck.
My mind went to Leatherback Bailoff, but Dungrove Elder, that one has hexproof.
That one can get bigger than Bailoff. And he's going to end step crack the Expedition map. Finds Bajuka Bog. All right. The main deck one. Means he can't, it's interesting whether he wants it in his hand, it means he can't crop rotate for it. So
that is true.
Yeah, he'll just bog Morawski's graveyard. Okay. Grizzlebrand is banished to the exile regions. To the nowheres. And John's going to entomb another one.
The Blind Eternities.
Well,
right?
you could coax him back from those, right?
Well, Grizzlebrand is no Eldrazi.
Right.
Just a regular run-of-the-mill demon.
You want to replace Exile with that. You can put Tidespout Tyrant in the yard. Right? Like, Journey to Nowhere could be called Journey to the Blind Eternities.
Target player's graveyard is banished to the Blind Eternities.
There'd be a lot of text on Relic of Progenitus, but
Swords
it would be great.
to Plowshares would have a very different feel to it.
So, John has decided to go for Tidespout Tyrant here. So his one-ofs are a Grave Titan, an Elishnorn, and a Tyrant, and then he has 4 Gristlebrand's. Just says go right now, so maybe some fail rate on Jonathan's side. We're not really sure. Ancient Stirrings from Aiden Reilly.
It looks like he wanted his careful study to hit a reanimation effect and did not deliver on that front.
For Aiden Reilly, he's going to cast Ancient Stirrings. His 12-post deck looking a lot like no post. It
does play 5 basic forests, though.
You're not going to get to big monsters playing one land at a time. John's going to Force of Will the Stirrings, and this game's getting weird. Another basic forest for Aiden Reilly. I want Dungrove Elder. Come on, you can do it. Right now, Dungrove Elder.
When you hear people talking about
3/3.
excitement for the next Legacy Open, these are the games that they're talking about. This is what the people want to see.
This is great. This is
Show me another basic forest.
Legitimate magic on both sides. Now John will go ahead and entomb a Grizzlebrand. There's no second bog on Aiden's side either. This is just... If only John could entomb on Burial Rites, then he'd be 1 land away from going off. They don't play that.
No. It comes up.
Says go. All right.
The deck technically plays enough mana sources to hardcast a Gristlebrand.
I have Ugin from Aiden. 4 mana. Conduit of Ruin. Okay. He can search up an Eldrazi, put it on top of his deck.
Jonathan's thinking this is a pretty good limited deck I'm playing against right now.
And the first creature as well, he casts each turn, costs 2 less. So the issue is that if Aiden needs to draw lands, this isn't even good to put a card on top of his deck. He could put his second Conduit of... No, it's 7 or greater. It can't find itself. His options are Kozilek, Ulamog, Emrakul, and Emrakul. So it's new. It's all the new ones. The new Kozilek, Emrakul, and Ulamog, and then the old Emrakul. So the Aeons, Torn, Promised End, Ceaseless Hunger, and Great Distortion.
With the Eye of Ugin plus the Conduit, and he has the 4 mana sources there, he's technically looking at 8 mana for an Eldrazi, though he's very far off of significantly reducing the casting cost of new Emrakul. That one's still going to cost 12, just an artifact in the graveyard currently.
And yet no Eldrazi temples, because we're not playing that format. Well, not that deck. He's playing Cloud Posts, so he's still... It's not like he can top deck a land that gets him all the way to 10 next turn if he puts, say, Kozilek on top of his deck.
I can see why Joe Lissette wish he played this deck in this tournament. It's just
well,
really...
when your opponents just don't do anything for the whole game, see, look.
Ooh, the old tutor failed to find.
And John's going to tase the Conduit of Ruin. Well, yeah, he needs to draw more lands. So if he puts a monster on top of his deck, that's not even good.
Yeah.
He's actually... I have seen players make that mistake with Conduit of Ruin before where, you know, they actually hurt themselves by tutoring to the top of the deck.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah, 6 mana play by Aiden gets dazed. John's going to replay the land, say go.
And Legacy is very intimidating to a lot of newer players because of these kind of high-powered interactions.
I'm pretty sure most modern decks... I bet Mardu Vehicles would have won this game already. That's a stand, you know.
Yeah.
Like, all right, hit you with Heart of Kirin. Be like, play Basic Forest.
Well, Aiden does have a Tabernacle of Pendervale in his hand, so that might stop the Vehicles deck.
Well, he doesn't stop Vehicles, right?
No.
Pithing Needle from Aiden or Cloud Post. He has to make a choice. He's going to get Cloud Post. This is off Ancient Stirrings. He could Needle Gristlebrand. Instead, he plays Cloud Post.
And Jonathan already has Tidespout Tyrant in his graveyard, so he has an alternative thing to bring back. Not to mention that Needle on Gristlebrand is not terribly effective in the first place.
Here's another Ancient Stirrings. We see Ugin. We see another Cloud Post. We see an Expedition Map and a Candelabra of Taunos. Still can't cast Ugin yet.
Yeah, with the Glimmer Boast in hand, he can get up to 7 mana on the following turn.
Ugin's like not even good in this matchup. Well, you know, it's just a Lightning Bolt every turn. Yeah, he'll get Expedition Map, which he can cast but can't crack. This game's weird. Guess decided not to cast Expedition Map.
Another land off the top for Morawski. Definitely not the way he drew this up.
I mean, okay, John kept a hand that was... so what happened is he didn't actually... Aiden did not actually cast the card. I think John kept a hand that was missing one piece of interaction. And you expect when you keep a speculative combo hand and miss that you will lose to everyone. If you're in John's spot, the fact that this game is still going on is just unreal.
Mm-hmm. You would expect that you would have drawn out, or your opponent would at least have the decency to kill you by now.
Map and Divining Top for Aiden Reilly. I don't know about the sequencing on this Expedition Map, or on the posts. It may... He's producing less mana by playing Glimmer Post to this turn, as opposed to like Map, Crack, Cloud Post, Cloud Post. Mm-hmm. Depends what he's trying to build up toward. And we do see Exhume from John Morawski. So the turn before the Eldrazi was about to happen, John's got some play here.
So Aiden has a new Ulamog in his hand, and I believe by not just getting Cloud Post and playing this turn, he has put himself off of casting that on the following turn.
Well, there's going to be the problem that we have to talk about how many spells are in John's hand. If he gets back Tidespout Tyrant, he might start bouncing Aiden's lands. Mm-hmm. And that's, you see, I think like John has kept a Lotus Petal in his yard for just that. Mm-hmm. He's going to go get Gristlebrand, though. So exhumes the Gristlebrand. So maybe...
Well, the thing about getting Gristlebrand is it makes it a lot easier to set up a big Tidespout Tyrant turn.
Yeah, I guess you could just draw 7 here, and if you hit Reanimate, just reanimate a Gristlebrand, reanimate Tyrant, and just keep going.
Maybe pick up another Lotus Petal.
Yeah, just crack your fetch land, reanimate Tyrant, play some Lotus Petals, bounce Aiden's lands.
Daze to daze your own Lotus Petal, get another Tyrant trigger.
Do you pay?
Whatever.
Reanimate is in John's hand. And this is in this battle of non-interactive decks, I think you understand is that John's deck's about 4 to 5 turns faster. And granted, his deck bricked for 3 turns at least, but that makes it an even race.
Well, this is very far from the height of what Aiden's deck is capable of. And to Jonathan's credit, Force of Willing that early Ancient Stirring has very likely slowed him down significantly.
Yeah, John's hand's great here. He's got Reanimate and multiple Lotus Petals. If he wants to, he can just go off with this Tidespout Tyrant.
Mm-hmm.
So Forest, Reanimate on the way, hits Tidespout Tyrant. All right, so Tyrant into play. John at 2.
And there's really the only form of reach that Aiden's deck is able to produce are Ugin the Spirit Dragon, but after a bunch of Tidespout Tyrant triggers, I don't expect that's going to be an option for the following turn.
Warping Whale. Bounce, bounce. With off Lotus Petals, he bounces 2 of Aiden's lands. Ponder off Lotus Petal, bounce another thing. I just wonder if he just keeps going at the lands. Yeah, he'll just start on the Forest, it looks like. Yeah. He does need to be... Yeah, I don't even know if to be careful about anything.
No, if he bounces all these lands, this game is over.
Draws off Ponder. Draws into Careful Study. Yeah, he's just going to keep doing this for a while. Careful Study, bounce a Forest. Still has that Daze you were talking about, too. Seems great. Discards 2 more Gristlebrands. Those are the last of them.
Now this is actually a power level that is respectable in the Legacy format.
Yeah, like on one turn, I just made like 12 power and bouncing 5 lands.
Yes.
All right. Just keep going. Brainstorm, daze your own Brainstorm. I think it's...
Well, Jonathan's kind of weighing whether or not he's going to have to daze anything that Aiden could realistically cast on the following turn.
Okay, yeah. Picks up a Thoughtseize. Don't cast that one. Yeah. Well, you could daze it.
You could cast it, daze it, and not pay.
Says go. Looks like after... I mean, if he had another... See, if Aiden had a Dungrove Elder in hand, John would probably bounce the last Forest. If there's one in play, you know, you kill it.
Correct. And really, all the things that Aiden's deck does is put permanents on the battlefield. Technically, he could set up a Glacial Chasm. Morawski would just return it to his hand.
Tidespout Tyrant is a pretty messed up card. I mean, if you're having to pay real mana for it, it's no good. But if you're, it's a list of things you can cheat into play. It's doing pretty good for itself. Aiden draws a pair of cards here using Divining Top. Only has 5 permanents. If John untaps, Aiden's probably losing all his permanents. Plays Cloud Post. Can Crop Rotate. Floating a black. What's he up to here? He's going to get Glacial Chasm?
Yeah. My assumption is Glacial Chasm, hope that Morawski doesn't see it. Could even find Maze of Ith, that's a card in his deck. Slow down the clock. Stop Morawski from gaining life, but won't stop this Tyrant from just continuing to stop Aiden from really playing the game.
Yeah, there's like not a land There we go, Mazavith. Could rotate into another basic forest.
There are a couple left. Five basic forests in the deck.
A lot of them are in his hand right now, though. Candelabra of Taunos. He plays that off the black mana that was floating from Bojuka Bog. Says go.
So Candelabra plus Mazavith allows him to have 2 activations there.
I do like that.
I would be surprised if Morawski just lets this kind of stuff happen.
John could, bounce the Mazavith.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Gonna cast Entomb, bouncing Mazavith. Putting something in the graveyard. I don't know that he has anything to put there anymore.
Grave Titan, Elish Norn.
Grave Titan, there we go.
Both creatures. It currently has a 2-turn clock on the battlefield.
He has Brainstorm in hand. He can just bounce so many things. And he can Thought Seize if he connects with Gristlebrand, he can. Yeah, this is done.
I assume if Morawski was playing face up, Reilly would just concede. It's kind of his prayer here is that Morawski just has 6 lands in his hand.
Here's Brainstorm, bounce Cloud Post, and bounce the rest of them. On to game 2.
And that's about how you expect a game of Legacy to go. 17 turns of nothing.
And then one person wins.
Yeah.
I do like winning the game all in 1 turn off nothing. I'm pretty into that.
Yeah, it is nice.
All right, we're going to go ahead and look at the sideboards. Starting off on John Morawski's sideboard with Reanimator. He's got 3 Show and Tell, 2 Abrupt Decay, 2 Pithing Needle, a Push, an Action Rider, an Iona, a Duress, a Massacre, a Coffin Perch, and a Collective Brutality. So some interesting things here. Normally, Reanimator boards into Show and Tell to help fight whatever hate exists in the format. But in this matchup, I'm not entirely sure he can do that.
Yeah. Aiden's deck is full up on stuff that he would be happy to show in himself, particularly if it was something with Annihilator. That'd be a really bad scene for Morawski.
Similarly, Iona can't name colorless. So
yes.
So his Reanimator targets are taxed a bit here. What do you like in the matchup?
Duress is medium. There's a lot of early stuff that is non-creature spells, so you can slow down. Maybe get a crop rotation to stop any kind of instant speed Bojuka Bog interactions. In theory, you could use Pith and Needle to shut off Expedition Map. That's not very exciting. I expect very light sideboarding from Morawski. We go over to Reilly's side. There are 3 Surgical Extractions. Ding, ding, ding. Those are great. 3 Croson Grips. No thank you. 2 Moment's Peace. Nope. 2 Grafdigger's Cage. Yes. That one's pretty good.
Yep.
2 Warping Whale.
So counters sorceries. Exhume is a sorcery.
On the play, this is probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to be a dead card? Yeah, probably. Does your deck have a lot of those? Definitely.
A Pithing Needle, not so much. A Song of the Dryads is fine.
Well, hold on the Pithing Needle. I guess you can Needle Gristlebrand, right?
Yeah, that's just not very significant.
Oh, I don't like it. I guess it depends on how many dead cards he has here.
3 main deck Pithing Needles. I don't think we need to go very full up on Pithing Needles to name Gristlebrand. The All of This Dust is solidly medium. It's probably just not going to play. It's a little bit too slow, and if Morawski just has a Tidespout Tyrant as his Reanimator target, you're just never going to be able to cast that one.
Over StarCityGames.com, we have the Star City Games newsletter. This is your one-stop source for Magic the Gathering news. This comes out every week. We have highlights of our articles from the week, our upcoming SCG Tour dates, locations. You can find about game nights near you, read exclusive strategy from some of the best players on the tour, and the best part of it is that it's all free. You can just sign up and get this in your inbox every week at starcitygames.com/newsletter. And therefore, John Morawski actually was a competitor in the Players' Championship in 2015. Was the state champion on so there were modern and standard states. Twice the spring ones and autumn ones. He was the Massachusetts state champion 3 times in 1 year.
I really enjoy the 3 factoids that he has selected. The first one's like really awesome. A person could ask a lot of follow-up questions to this fact.
That's just like something that probably is the only person in the room who can say that.
The second one's weird enough to be interesting. And the third one, he is one of everybody who enjoys smoothies.
Yeah, it's got a nice like pyramid level going on with it.
Two truths and a lie.
Yeah.
In fact, I do not enjoy smoothies.
But yeah. Has had a few Pro Tour appearances as well to his name.
A very strong player.
Aiden on the play, starts with Cloud Post. This time, his deck might do something a little less fair.
Yeah, starting on Cloud Post a lot stronger than Basic Forest.
Second Cloud Post even. Look, wow, we're just... If you're wondering, Cloud Post are one of the cards that is banned in Modern because this start here is not reasonable.
Cloud Post actually enables you to hard cast Emrakul the Eon's Torn way more often than anybody should be able to.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see, and I know that everyone brings this up, have you ever played the lists, the Amulet of Vigor Cloud Post lists?
Shut up.
No. They're really good. They're really good.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're just... If you want to see that card be really broken, play it in Cloud Post. You're just like... It's like play Primeval Titan, get 2 Cloud Posts, untap them, Emrakul you. Oh. It's just like, oh, this is fun.
You're saying there's probably a reason that this deck is playing 4 Candelabra of Thanos?
Oh yeah. Is
that card good here?
John's gonna play Show and Tell on turn 2 thanks to Lotus Petal.
And looking at Aiden's hand, this looks like it's going to work.
This is a big risk. What's Aiden bring to Show and Tell? Not Dark Depths. That's not as good as Gristlebrand. Take that, Grafdigger's Cage. There was some risk here. What if Aiden just put Emrakul the Aeon's Torn into play?
It certainly paid off
John
here,
would get annihilated.
And he's facing down Grafdigger's Cage, so this is the way he's able to win the game.
So once he sees Cage, it's like, well, let's go. Does this mean Aiden could like keep a hand of, like 1 land, Cage, 2, Emrakul, and just be like, yeah, whatever?
Oh, absolutely.
And then even if the rest hand's uncastable,
Doesn't matter. As long as Morawski just casts Show and Tell.
He's got to play along.
Yeah. It starts to look weird if the game actually advances to a point where Aiden just like misses land drops. Then you kind of have to suspect something's up. So the Show and Tell came down way too quickly for that to be a thing.
We'll see if Aiden... Okay, so now looking at inside Aiden's deck, can he... Well, John's gone and drawn, 14 cards. I was going to say if Aiden can answer Gristlebrand, but I bet John's got a couple Force of Wills.
I would hope so.
Maybe he could All-Is Dust it. No, he doesn't have mana. He'd only have 6 mana, 7 mana at most. He could Karn it.
Yeah, he could have 7 mana if he has Glimmer Post as his 3rd land drop.
Yeah.
Once again, 3 p.m. Seal Spectacular Players.
There's 1 Thespian stage in Aiden's deck. If he has Green Source Crop Rotation, he can just find that. I imagine that crop rotation would be Force of Willed.
I imagine anything's going to get Force of Willed. That's kind of how this deck works. You play Gristlebrand, draw into 3 Force of Wills and 3 blue cards, and say, okay, it's your turn.
Dazed Kicker.
Sure. Maybe you keep another reanimated spell.
Sure.
Put Tidespout Tyrant in the yard, discard it to hand size, keep Reanimate in your hand as the 7th card. It's pretty good. Play some Lotus Petals. Or don't, because you're going to play Tidespout Tyrant. Really, your call.
And this is a game that is way more legacy speed than game 1.
Well, 12 post, you have to figure, is bad in almost all the combo mirrors. One thing that's happened in Legacy, the combo's pretty bad now. We haven't really seen much combo today. I think that John's the first. We saw Elves, which Aiden probably loses to. But he's got a shot. Elves isn't that fast. Against all these Sultai decks, Aiden's gonna be pretty good actually. It's gonna be
I've played a decent amount of Cloud Post decks versus Temur Delver, and if they just turn 1 Pithing Needle Wasteland, which there's 3 main deck Pithing Needles for that reason,
Wasteland, yeah.
It's pretty hard to beat this deck. It does not help matters that Glimmer Post just gains life.
That's messed up. This card's too good.
Here comes Gristlebrand. That's going to connect. Reilly down to 16. Morawski up to 12. That'll give him access to 7 more cards if he felt he wanted them.
Maybe his cards are great anyway. You gotta watch out though. See, on end step, Aiden can remove 2 ice counters from Dark Depths.
Uh-oh.
Show and tell again from John Morawski. This is actually a little risky. No, Bazooka Bog and Tidespout Tyrant. Okay, not risky at all.
Well,
I was like, what if you put Emrakul in the play? I'm like, yeah, John's gonna bounce it. There's like a Lotus Petal in his hand probably, or a bunch of. Or yeah, there is.
Plus, he has access to another draw 7 if he's interested in that.
Sure. Find a Lotus Petal. Okay. Reanimator, like I said, about 4 turns faster as a combo deck.
But that's it.
Petal bounces. Yeah, in response, good one. Good one, Aiden. He thaws out a counter.
Committing game actions.
It is -1 mana because he now his other Cloud Post only taps for 2. And then on end step, he didn't remove another one. So never mind. That could be at 8 right now. He'll replay the Cloud Post. Cast Pithing Needle, naming naming it's gonna get bounced.
Jonathan could or could not draw 7 cards in response. It doesn't matter. I would like to draw 7 cards because drawing 7 cards is nice.
I like that. I don't like drawing so many cards that I have to discard them. That's sad.
Well, the nice thing is he gets to go into his turn and still has them. He does not have to discard on Aiden's
if I'm going to
turn.
win the game that turn, then I'm into it because then I never have to discard them. And it's like...
Unfortunately, he's only attacking for 12 on the following turn.
It's like having all your friends cheer you on across the finish line when you like win the game with 18 cards in your hand. You're like, hey guys, we all did it. The Pithing Needle's on Gristlebrand. Ponder is going to bounce some of Aiden's lands.
Yeah.
Floats 3, casts Warping Whale, countering the Ponder. Nice. But the land still goes to his hand. That's kind of what John wanted anyway.
Yeah.
Uses... No, he doesn't have enough mana to thaw out that counter, so no Ponder will bounce the other land. John had another one.
And this Ponder is resolving.
And that's going to be the match. John Morawski improves to 6-0, winning the match. Reanimator over mono green 12 post.